What if Hulk wore the mask? Would the mask add to Hulk's overall abilities? To answer this question, we need to check Lobo Mask Comics, which was published in 1997, which will give us all we need to know about the mask's insane magical powers. In Manhattan, a thug whose name is Ira Stobe saw an old woman walking alone and decided to steal her purse. He threatened her with a knife, only to find out that she was a cop undercover. The thug managed to run into an alley where he found the mask. A day before, on an alien planet, Lobo was hired to take down the one who wears the mask. He is described as a scourge to the galaxy, a more like a cosmic disease than a man, and a blight upon all life. Lobo accepted to take on the mission only after he was offered a bounty of 1 billion creds. Back in Manhattan, some other aliens were after the mask and arrived in the city, remarking that their scanners picked up the mask trail leading right into the alley where the thug was hiding. They opened their fire, forcing the thug to wear the mask. He gained all the mask's magical powers and then attacked the aliens, taking down their boss easily. The aliens, however, retaliated and opened fire on the mask, who did not even budge, and created an advanced weapon out of the air. He opened fire on the aliens and took them all down, and that was when their boss came back for round 2, but the mask just ate him alive. Meanwhile, Lobo arrived in the city looking for the mask and ended up in the alley where the aliens were taken down. The mask was brushing his teeth after eating that alien when Lobo attacked him. The mask, however, warped reality, trying to mess with Lobo's mind. He broke the fourth wall and introduced himself to the readers. He also made Lobo introduce himself and talk about his mission of tracking down the mask. He introduced the story's editor too, who criticized the writers for not coming up with much of a story, explaining the violence it shows. Lobo pounded on the mask and tried to kill him, but all his attempts were in vain, as the mask proved to be invulnerable against physical damage and literally immortal. Lobo then tossed the mask head at a passing taxi, then tied his leg to a no smoking sign to rip him apart. He indeed managed to rip the mask, who grew a small head out of his foot, forcing Lobo to stomp him. Lobo was about to light his cigar when the mask appeared from the light, making an entrance and ripping Lobo's leg. Mask created a vehicle out of the air and opened fire on Lobo, who retaliated, and the battle raged between the two, who charged at each other and were about to crash when Mask evaded Lobo, who crashed into the building. Lobo then chased the mask, who circled the earth in no time, showing incredible speed, before tossing bombs at each other and destroying their vehicles. They both fell back to the earth, but were not damaged. Mask then shapeshifted into King Kong and captured Lobo. Lobo then opened fire on the mask, who wasn't bothered, then ate Lobo alive. Lobo, however, ripped his way out of the mask belly, remarking that he left 2 small nukes inside of him, but could not get clear fast, and the nukes exploded, ripping them both to pieces. Lobo and Mask heads continued the fight until Mask regenerated his body instantly, showing that his healing and regeneration abilities way surpassed those of Lobo, who is known for having insane healing. Mask then created Lobo's own words out of the air and forced him to eat them before kicking his head away. Mask then told Lobo that he was after his last owner, revealing his true identity as the thug Ira Stobe. The two then agreed to work together, as the mask would tell Lobo where his last owner was, and Lobo would give him a percentage of the money he would get. Lobo and the mask then started roaming the universe, looking for their target. After killing thousands of aliens whom the mask thought were his last owner, Lobo realized that the mask was toying with him and tried to take the mask by force, but the mask reminded him of their deal. They then ended up at a military base full of advanced weaponry. Lobo got into the base, where the mask activated the alert system, opening fire on Lobo, who wasn't damaged. Lobo then stuffed Mask mouth with bombs, which exploded, but did not damage him either. They then activated a chain reactor, planning to launch it at their target and destroy him wherever he is. They launched the rocket, which ended ended up destroying the whole system with all its planets. They then killed the sun god and the moon god of that system until they found themselves at a bar called the Rim of the Hole, the toughest bar in the universe, and the last place to look for their target. They decided to have a drink in the bar, where the mask instigated the patrons to attack Lobo, who managed to escape and got into the toilet, where he found the mask waiting for him in there. Lobo had enough of the mask tricks and tried to finish him, but in vain, until he finally tossed a guilt grenade he got from that weaponry base. Shockingly enough, the bomb had its effect on the mask, who felt guilty for all his crimes and started crying. The mask then begged Lobo to get him off the thug, allowing Lobo to take the mask off the thug's face and wear it himself. Lobo then confronted the bar's patrons and killed them all. Later on, an alien spaceship located Lobo's bike getting out of a black hole, mistakenly thinking that he was lost and disoriented. Lobo came out of the black hole with great force and crashed into the alien ship and destroyed it to pieces. Lobo then landed in an empty town, where he found himself face to face with a dim-witted muscular guy who punched him hard, ripping Lobo into small Lobos, who in their turn attacked the giant all at once and killed him. Lobo then landed on a planet where interstellar games were taking place. Lobo took the hat of an alien sultan, forcing his guards to open fire. Lobo retaliated and killed them all, where at one point he took his eyes out of their sockets and used them as bullets to shoot the guard. One of the guards, however, managed to shoot Lobo with a bazooka, which seemingly finished him. Lobo's soul came out of his body and killed the guard. Later on, Lobo was about to leave when he found that the guards left him a nuke in his bike. The bomb exploded, but did not kill Lobo, who became enraged, vowing to rip apart every single planet of every alien joined these games, and so he did. His vengeance was fueled by his wrath. He shed seas of blood, which soaked the soils of 1,000 nations. Later on, Lobo woke up to find himself on Earth. He did not know what exactly happened to him, but he blamed the mask for all that madness. Lobo then took the mask off, remarking that it was using him, before tossing it away. Lobo then came across another Lobo, who explained to his counterpart that when he flew into that black hole, he passed through time warp. Lobo came from the future, and while he was wearing the mask, he did all the stuff in the past the other Lobo was hired to stop in the present, revealing that the mask's last owner Lobo was trying to hunt down was himself. To get the bounty, Lobo tricked his past self into coming with him to the planet that offered him the job in the first place. He then painted his counterpart's head green to look like he was wearing the mask, and turned him in for the money before taking off. The mask would make Hulk capable of warping reality itself, allowing him to reshape matter and energy, and to turn his thoughts and desires into reality, to bend time and space, and possibly even rewrite the laws of physics. It would grant Hulk the ability to create anything out of nothing, whether it may be everyday items or comically exaggerated weapons that can destroy planets. It would also make Hulk capable of shape-shifting and altering his appearance on a whim. Although Hulk has incredible healing abilities, the mask seemingly cannot be harmed at all. While he may dramatically react to being hurt, like flattening himself on the ground after a fall or playing dead if shot, nothing can leave any sort of lasting damage on his person. The mask may also turn off the banner side or the human side in the Hulk's psyche, causing the bannerless Hulk to emerge with all the powers the mask would grant him, which would make Hulk a universal threat. Let me know what you think about this topic, and don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching, and have a nice one.